Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to our channel Yarn with Abarna. In this video tutorial I am going to show you how can we make this easy and fast baby boots. In this video I am going to make this for 8-month baby girl. You can make this for all ages, all sizes. For this project I am going to use 3.75 mm knitting needle. So in this video I am going to show you two types of baby boots. The first type is, in this place you are going to make full and full knit stitch. So in this place if you like knit stitch means make a knit stitch, or in this place you are going to make a stockinette stitch. These are the two difference. This is the huge difference between these two baby boots. If you like knit stitch, gatter stitch means you are going to try this. If you like stockinette stitch means you are going to try this. So let's start. I am going to start with 55 basic chains, 55 cast on. For long tail cast on method I am going to using long tail cast on method I am going to make 55 long tail 55 cast on. So make a slip knot. After making the slip knot, insert the needle. This is my first cast on. So I am going to make my second one. This is my third, fourth. Like this you are going to make 55 cast on. So totally I did 55 cast on. Now I am going to work my row 1. For row 1 I am going to make 1 knit stitch in every loop. So this is my first loop in this row. Into this loop I am going to make 1 knit stitch. So this is my second one. Into this I am going to make second knit stitch. Like this you are going to continue. You simply make 1 knit stitch in every loop. So you can see I nearly finished this row. This is my last 2 loops. Into this also I am going to make 1 knit stitch. Totally I did 55 knit stitch. Row 1 is completed. So I am going to start my row 2. In this row 2 also I am going to make 1 knit stitch in every loop. You can see I simply make 1 knit stitch in every loop. At the end of this row totally I have 55 knit stitch. So you are going to continue like this. You can see I nearly done this row. So into the last these loops also I am going to make 1 knit stitch. In this stage totally I did 2 rows. I have 1 line. If you make 2 rows mean that is going to create 1 line. So I finished 2 rows, so I get 1 line. So this is the basic of knitting. Okay, so I did 10 rows means I have 5 lines. I did 12 rows means I have 6 lines. This is the basic of knitting. So I did 2 rows, I have 1 line. I am going to continue the same total of 18 rows. So at the end of this totally I have 9 lines. Okay, so after finishing 18 rows, after I get 9 lines, I'll show you. You can see totally I did 18 rows. I have 9 lines. In this stage I am going to divide it into 3 parts like 22, 11, 22. Totally I have 55 loops in my needle. So I am going to divide into 22. Last 22, mid of this I am going to have 11 loops. Like this I am going to divide it. So this 22 I am going to decrease until I reach 12. This 22 I am going to decrease until I reach 12. So this is the basic for this boots. How many you have in the mat? From this you want 1 loop extra until you reach, you are going to make a decrease. In the mid of this I have 11 plus 1 means 12. So until I reach 12 I am going to increase. This is the basic. I am going to explain, so don't confuse. I am going to place the marker. So first 22 loops I am going to make 1 knit stitch into the first 22 loops. So I am going to divide like 22, 11, 22. In the first 22 loops I am going to make 1 knit stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see totally I did 22 knit stitch. Now I am going to reach this 11 loops. So if you reach this 11 loops means into the first 10 loops you are going to make 1 knit stitch into the first 10 loops. Into the 11th loop you are going to make a decrease. So I am going to tell you, this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in the first 10 loops I make 1 knit stitch. Into the 11th loop I am going to make the decrease. So I am going to make decrease like this way. Okay, 1, 2. Into the 2 loops I am going to use the front leg. I am going to make the decrease. So after that you are going to turn your project. So in this case the one loop is decreased in this side. In this side you have 22 loops. In the next row you are going to work means into that side also one loop decrease. Like this you are going to continue. The center 11 loops is maintained. Both side 1 loops decrease in every one row. This is the concept for this baby boots. So in this case 1 loops is decreased in this side. In the next row 1 loop is decreased into that side also. Okay, after finishing this row I am going to turn my project. So mid of this I have 11. So into the first 11 loops in the first 10 loops I am going to make 1 knit stitch. If you want like this means garter stitch means you simply make 1 knit stitch in every loop. If you want stockinette stitch means make 1 row of knit stitch, 1 row of purl stitch. In the right side of the project I make knit stitch. Into the wrong side of my project I am going to make a purl stitch like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, totally I did 10 purl stitch. Into the 11th one I am going to make a purl together. So using front loops I am going to make purl together like this. In this case 1 loops is decreased in this side. So turn your project. So now I am going to continue. Make 10 knit stitch. This is my right side of my project. So I am going to make 10 knit stitch. Into the 11th one I am going to make knit 2 together. If you work wrong side of your project means 10 purl stitch. Into the 11th one you are going to make purl together. This is used for the stockinette stitch. Okay, so if you continue the same means the center 11 loops are maintained. 22 loops are going to decreased one by one. So now I decreased 1 loops both side. This is my right side. Make 1 knit stitch in the first 10 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Into the 11th loop I am going to make knit 2 together. You can see using these 2 loops I am going to make knit 2 together. So after that I am going to turn my project. That is going to be the wrong side. So I am going to make 10 purl stitch into the first 10 loops. Into the 11th one I am going to make a purl together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is my 11th loop. Into this I am going to make purl 2 together. So after this you are going to turn your project, that is going to be your right side. So you are going to make 10 knit stitch. Into the 11th one you are going to make a knit 2 together. You are going to continue this repeat and repeat. If you reach right side means make 10 knit stitch. So this is my right side, I am going to make 10 knit stitch. 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Into the 11th one I am going to make knit 2 together. If you reach the wrong side means you are going to make a 10 purl stitch. Into the 11th one you are going to make purl 2 together. Okay, so this is my wrong side. So I am going to make 10 purl stitch. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Into the 11th one I am going to make purl 2 together. So like this you are going to continue these 2 rows, repeat and repeat until you reach 22 loops are going to decrease like 12. So after reaching 12 I am going to show you. You are going to continue this repeat and repeat. So I am going to continue the same. In this stage, into this side I have 2 4 6 8 10 13. In this side I have 13 loops. In this side I have 13 loops. Into the center I have 11 loops. So I am going to decrease 2 more. So I get 1 more. So I get 12 loops into the both side. So I am going to continue. So in this place you can see. So in this place you are going to make tight and not loose. You can see if you make like this means if you have a distance between these two loops means it is going to form a single hole. If you using these two loops very closer means you are going to avoid to make that hole. So not going to make like this, you are going to make like this way from the starting. Okay, so this is my first knit stitch. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. This is my 11th one. So I am going to make knit 2 together. So after that you are going to turn your project. So in this side 1 loops is decreased, so you have 12 loops. Okay, so I have 12 loops in this side. You are going to turn your project. This is the wrong side of your project. So I am going to make 10 purl stitch. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. This is my 11th one, so I am going to make purl 2 together. So using these 2 loops front leg only I am going to make purl 2 together. So you can see, so into these 2 I am going to make. So if you make this means 1 loops is decreased in this side also. So in this side also you get 12 loops. So in this side 12 loops, into the center 11 loops, in the another side you have 12 loops. So now I am going to make 1 knit stitch in these loops. So into these loops I simply make 1 knit stitch because I reach my number of loops. So I am going to make 1 knit stitch. I am not going to turn. So you can see I make 1 knit stitch. Okay, now I am going to make the rib stitch. You can see now your project looks like this. So into this side you have 12 loops, in this side 12 loops, at the center you have 11 loops. It looks like this. This is used for the feet. So it looks like so great. So now I am going to make the rib stitch, that is 1 cross 1 rib stitch. So 1 cross 1 rib stitch, it is going to denote like 1 cross 1. This is read as cross in matrix in max. So not I am going to deep in the max. So it is denote like 1 cross 1 rib stitch. Okay. So 1 cross 1 rib stitch means you make 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch. So it going to looks like this. Instead of this 1 cross 1 rib stitch, you are going to make 2 cross or 2 cross, like 2 cross or 3 cross rib stitch also. So in this place I make a stockinette stitch. If you want gatter stitch means you simply make one knit stitch both right and wrong side also. So if you want gatter stitch means you are going to follow green color. If you want a stockinette stitch means you are going to continue this. Okay. So now I am going to make a 1 cross 1 rib stitch. So I am going to make 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch. Like this I am going to continue. After finishing the first row, I am going to continue the second row like that also. 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch. You are going to continue this, repeat and repeat until you reach the required length of the baby boots. So let's start. This is my first loop. So into this I am going to make a 1 knit stitch. Into the second loop I am going to make 1 purl stitch. Into the first make 1 knit, 1 purl. Like this you are going to continue. Make 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch. Like this you are going to continue the first row. You can see I continue the same. So this is the end with 1 knit stitch. If this is the end with 1 knit stitch means you are going to start the next row, start with 1 purl stitch. So in this row I am going to end with 1 knit stitch. So next row I am going to start with 1 purl stitch. This is the basic of 1 cross 1 rib stitch. If you end with 1 purl stitch means into the next row you are going to start with 1 knit stitch. You are going to opposite. Okay. So in my previous row I am going to end with 1 knit stitch. So in this row I am going to start 1 purl stitch. Like this, 1 purl stitch, then continue the same, 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch, 1 knit stitch, 1 purl stitch. Like this you are going to continue this row until you finish this. You can see. So I continue the same. So 1 knit stitch, then 1 purl stitch. This row end with 1 purl stitch. So next row I am going to start 1 knit stitch. So I am going to turn my project. So I am going to start with 1 purl stitch, then 1 knit, 1 purl. You are going to continue the same. This row end with 1 knit stitch. So the next row start with 1 purl stitch, continue the 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl. Continue the same until you reach the length of the baby boot. This is the cuff part. You can decide how much you want, like this. So until you reach that you are going to continue the same pattern, repeat and repeat. After reach 3 inches I will show you. I am going to decide 2 or 3 inches is enough for 8-month baby. So I am going to continue the same for 2 or 3 inches. After that I will show you. After reaching that 2 or 3 inches I will show you. You can say I continue the same for 2 to 3 inches, approximately 2.5 inches. Now I am going to cast off. I am going to bind off all these loops. So this is my first loop. So make one knit stitch. Into the second I am going to make one knit stitch, then yarn over the second loop into the first loop. So going to continue one knit stitch, yarn over, one knit stitch, yarn over. Like this you are going to cast off all these loops. You can see I nearly done this. So these are last two loops. Into this also I am going to cast off. So after that I am going to cut the yarn. So after cut the yarn I am going to leave some amount of yarn. After that I am going to cut, because this is used for joining the sides of the boot. So after that, leave some amount of yarn, I am going to cut. Now I take a loop like this. So I am going to insert the normal sewing needle into this thread, and I am going to fold the baby boots like this, and I am going to join the side of this. So you are going to take a normal sewing needle. You can see I am going to fold like this. You can see I am going to fold like this. Now I am going to join these sides. So I am going to join the needle into my thread, and I am going to join these two sides. Like this you are going to join these two sides. So you are going to like this way. So after finishing these two sides I will show you. You can see. Like this you are going to join. After this I will show you. You can see finally I joined the sides. Our project is looks like this. It's turned out so well. You can see. So all are try this project. This is very easy to make. This is only for the absolutely beginners. So try this and share your valuable thoughts with me. If you have any project like knitting or crochet, please leave your thoughts in comment section. I will try to upload it as soon as possible. Okay friends, try this and share your valuable thoughts. Stay connected with us. Thank you. Have a nice day. Happy with knitting.